The Obama team is back in the spotlight again. Joe Biden, rich are as patriotic as the poor. Well, thank you, Joe. What a random thing to say. Okay, well, what's the context of him saying this? Former Vice President Joe Biden on Tuesday told an Alabama crowd that wealthy Americans are as patriotic as Americans with a lower income, making a point of contrasting his remark with the rhetoric of Senator Bernie Sanders. Stumping for Democratic Senate nominee Doug Jones, Biden said the former U.S. attorney grasps fairness when it comes to the issue of taxes. Doug understands about tax fairness, Biden told the crowd. Guys, the wealthy are as patriotic as the poor. I know Bernie doesn't like me saying that, but they are. The comment comes amidst the debate over tax reform, for which President Trump and congressional Republicans last week unveiled a new plan that would both lower the corporate tax rate and cut the number of individual tax rates. Sanders has railed against the Republican tax framework and has historically slammed tax cuts for the wealthy and for corporations. Both Sanders and Biden are widely viewed as potential contenders for the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. Biden's visit to Alabama comes as Jones aims to defeat Senate Republican nominee Roy Moore in a state that hasn't had a Democratic senator since Howell Heflin retired in 1997. It's possible a more centrist approach on taxes and other issues could help Jones, who is a decided underdog in the race. Oh, so that is exactly what's happening there. For those of you who couldn't piece that together, Joe Biden goes to Alabama to campaign for a Democratic candidate in a Senate race who's overwhelmingly likely gonna lose. And what's Joe Biden's brilliant strategy to try to give this guy a chance? Shit on Bernie Sanders and push tax cuts for the wealthy. And what's his logic? Why would he do that? Because in Joe Biden's mind, he goes, and by the way, this is every Democratic strategist in Washington, D.C. Without fail, every single one of them says, well, look, in a place like Alabama, of course you have to run a centrist candidate. Of course you have to run a right-leaning Democrat. Because if you don't, then you're going to lose and you're going to get destroyed. But you guys have been running right-leaning Democrats in places like Alabama for decades. And you keep losing all the fucking time. What do you think, Joe? What do you think, Joe, that if I go out to Alabama and argue that corporate tax cuts are a good idea, or tax cuts for the rich are a good idea, the wealthy are patriotic too, that all of a sudden people are in Alabama are going to go, oh man, you know, these Democrats ain't so bad. They want to cut taxes for the rich too. They want to cut Wall Street's taxes. They want to let these corporations hide their money, trillions of dollars overseas, tax-free. They're not going to do that. Look at a fucking poll, for God's sakes, man. Look, Alabama is one of those states, and there's a few of these states. Alabama, Mississippi. There's a few that are so immensely deep red that it may be mission impossible anyway. I'm just keeping it real there. You guys know me. I'm the biggest believer in populist left ideas. I know they're popular all throughout the country, okay? There are some states that might be a little too far gone. Like, you know, fucking Roy Moore just won the Republican primary there. Roy Moore. This is a guy who said homosexuality should be banned. Not gay marriage, not gay marriage. You should be locked up if you're a gay person. That's how extreme these people are. He's a 100% Christian theocrat, okay? So some places are too extreme. Alabama might be one of those places. But to the extent you have any chance at all in Alabama, you have to contrast yourself with this insane far-right Republican, not half agree with him, which is Biden's strategy. The rich aren't so bad, right? Roy Moore doesn't think the rich are so bad. We agree with Roy Moore. The rich aren't so bad, and they're really patriotic, and maybe we should cut taxes for corporations and rich people. You're not going to win with that strategy. You're not going to win. Look at the polls. Even among Republicans, they want to raise taxes on the rich. Even among Republicans, they want free college. Go out there and argue for Medicare for all. Go out there and argue for free college. Go out there and argue for a living wage. Go out there and argue for card check, for pro-union bills. Go out there and say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to end the wars, and we're going to take all that money, and we're going to use it to build infrastructure in Alabama and bring jobs to Alabama. And while we're at it, we're going to punish any corporation that sends Alabama's jobs to fucking Bangladesh or Turkey or wherever. How about if you were unapologetically populist left? That is your best chance of winning. 100% your best chance of winning, but no. They doubled down on the wrong strategy. Hey, Joe, what happened to Mark Pryor? Remember Mark Pryor? Democrat from a red state, he got beat. Why? Because he was like, hoo-hoo-hoo, I'm Republican light. Look at this ad I have. Here's my gun. I'm holding a gun. Hoo-hoo-hoo, I'm Republican light. Vote for me. Oh, shit, you lost. Look at Allison Lundergan Grimes. Such a weak Democrat. She wouldn't even say she voted for Democrats. It's like, oh, did you vote for Obama? She's like, look, I don't discuss my personal voting preferences. You're running as a Democrat. You won't even say you voted for other Democrats? How weak are you? Another one, doing ads, holding rifles, shooting them. I'm like Mitch McConnell, except not as crazy and slightly less like a turtle. She got beaten by the least popular senator in the country because she did what you're doing right now, Joe. You should know better than this. He goes to Alabama to say tax cuts for the rich aren't that bad and rich people are patriots too. Not a single Republican in the country is going to go, well, there you go. Now I'm going to vote for Democrats. When you run as Republican light, the actual Republicans win. When you run as populist left, you beat the Republicans. Now, Alabama is one of those races where there's no guarantee you're going to win no matter who you run. Okay, so facts are facts about that. Alabama, Mississippi, and some states are the states where you could give people the best platform ever and they still might turn away from it. That happens in some states. Most places around the country that won't happen. If you run populist left, you're going to fucking win and it's going to be a Democratic landslide. Alabama, Mississippi might be too far gone, but your best chance is to run populist left and you're decidedly not doing it. You're running as pro-establishment, pro-corporatist, center-right neoliberals, and those are the people who are guaranteed to lose. Just ask Hillary Clinton how that went.